I am here live with Quinton Flynn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, great. So we are here at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont. You've had a pretty eventful weekend. You've had a couple of panels. How's everything been for you this weekend?
Excellent. Wonderful fans. I do love doing the panels because it's an opportunity to inspire, educate, and entertain. And do some character voices. Do some impressions. Yeah, you know, whatever you like. It's crazy. Even do some classic characters. So the fans love it. And then, also when they come around the table, I hear some wonderful stories from people about how they grew up on certain characters or games and that they're just inspired and honored and grateful to meet me. So it makes me happy to meet you.
That's awesome. It's all part of the convention experience.
Absolutely.
And so one question I like to ask, a lot of the people I interview, how did you get your start in this crazy entertainment world that we live in and that we love?
Well, I knew from a very young age it was something I wanted to do. I watched The Tonight Show relentlessly. That was back with Johnny Carson. I watched Saturday Night Live from its inception when I was a little boy, 75 onward. I read Mad Magazine, Crack Magazine, National Lampoon Magazine. I listened to their comedy hour, their records. I listened to the Beatles, Beach Boys, Stones, Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis, everybody, oh, it's very nice. John, Paul, George, and Ringo. I'm trying to find the voices as I go along, but they were all an inspiration to me, and of course I wanted to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which I did become. So I did acting, theater. I did radio, television, film, and in college, and then I took voice acting classes. And somehow along the way, an ex-girlfriend of mine suggested I focus on that as a career because Bob Bergen, voice of suggested I would be a good fit for this industry, and well, there you go. That's what I did. I moved out to Los Angeles, California, from Cleveland, Ohio, and I never looked back.
Awesome. And so funny enough, you're the Metal Gear Solid voice actor that I have had the honor and privilege to speak to. My first one was with David Hayter. I know you know him very well.
I do, yes.
Can you just talk to me a little bit about how that role of Metal Gear Solid 2 with Raiden came along?
Well, I remember auditioning for it, and I had done an animated series called The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest with director Chris Zimmerman. And in that, I was Johnny. He was very young in earnest. And Chris had me audition for Raiden and said, he's not as young as Johnny, but he is a young rookie. So young him up a bit, but age him up too. Don't make him as young as Quest. And so that's what I did with Raiden. And I just played him straight and earnest, concerned, and like me, just with more of a youthful innocence and vigor. And I got the role. I worked with David, and little did we know it was going to become this massive series that was going to go on for years and years and years.
Awesome. And so Raiden has kind of been a controversial character when the game first came out. How has that kind of affected your role? How do you look back on that as times have changed?
Oh, it didn't bother me so much when he was controversial, because that was before the days where you'd say something, it would end up on the internet, and then you'd hear it back immediately. It took quite a while for that to get back to me and to get around, so I didn't let it bother me. It wasn't personal.
Yeah, definitely. And so, just the last couple of things, we saw Raiden go through a lot of changes from Sons of Liberty to Guns of Patriots to Rising. How do you feel like you changed as the character changed?
Well, he became a world-weary war-torn cyber ninja. A world-weary war-torn cyber ninja. And going from this to this, to this, to this, to this, to this. I don't know. I had an opportunity to give more to it, the more they trusted me, and more became I became Raiden became me. So that I just kind of went along with it. By the time we did Revengeance, we were even incorporating comedy in there. So it was a great to this nature of one man, and I think many of us can relate to that.
Absolutely. And as you always say, life is improv, right? You evolve with
That's
it.
correct. Life is improv, so we do what we do when we can. Even now, while we're hearing some rock band.
There's something going off in the background. Anything can happen on a con floor.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Any memorable writing quotes?
Now it's time for Jack to let her rip. I am lightning, the rain transformed. And I was wrong. You're not crazy. They're batshit insane.
Last question for you. Would you like to see a sequel of Rising Revengeance?
Absolutely. I say let's do it.
I cannot thank you enough for the time. We've had a great time discussing over this weekend, both from Irish heritage.
That's right, my half Irish brother.
It's so rare that I can have a great conversation about Metal Gear and my Irish history. Anything can happen on the con floor. So we thank you so much for taking your time. I know there's people here ready to meet you, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks, brother. You too. Cheers and sláinte.